Finally, the day has come that we're going to repair this firewall and the floor. Here's your first look at kind of what I got to deal with here. We've got about, I would say, a cylinder and a half worth of engine inside the cab here. So the doghouse is definitely going to have to stay tight and really form to the backside of this block because, well, it's a 5-speed, got 3 pedals, and I don't have that much real estate to be able to put my feet. So I'm really gonna have to stay tight in this area so I can have the gas pedal and the brake and the clutch are definitely gonna be fairly close together. So my first thoughts are, because we have no floor and I've already welded right here, like this little section here was really kind of underneath these 3 screws or bolts or whatever you call them is wood. So not much tying this to this. So it was allowing the bottom of the door to open up and then the doors would sag. And so I decided, let's just weld that solid to make it one unit. And now I'm thinking with my floor, I'm gonna build a template that's gonna come in around here, around the shifter, come in around there and up to here. Something that's fairly skookum so I can tie into here and there to really solidify the floor. And I need to give myself a little bit of support for whatever I'm gonna put around the shifter, like a boot. So my thoughts are, start with paper, cut something out that's decent and tough, weld that down, do the floor, start the doghouse, and just work my way up until I close this whole opening off. And with that, we'll be one step closer to starting to lay our seats in here, get the steering column back in, deal with our gauges, get the brake and clutch assembly in, and start trying to make room for my feet. Like this truck, you might be, wearing your tennis shoes to drive it. We'll see. It looks tight, but as long as I keep my clearances tight here, because this engine isn't gonna move that far. So as long as I have a 1/2 inch of clearance, I think all the way around, that's not gonna make me lose that much room here. And I've got roughly maybe 16 inches. So I've had my feet in the compartment of a Shelby Cobra. And let me tell you, now that is the tightest brake, clutch, gas assembly that I've ever been in. And with my work boots on, I was still able to move that around, and this definitely has more. So I think we're in good shape. I would have loved to have this shifter further forward, but if this would have been the gut rag style tranny, I seen that they actually come out here. This is a 2nd gen transmission because that gut rag transmission, the 1st gen behind the Cummins, was garbage. So I've already been upgraded, I guess, but it's left the shifter way back here. So I'm gonna build a custom shifter, probably out of stainless steel, and it will sweep further forward, then come back. So it'll be all right. And I'm gonna have to do a little recess in here because I do wanna have a boot, because I need to stop any of the garbage and wind and stuff from coming up through the floor. So I need to have something here. I am gonna rock the bench seat. So I wanna keep this because the seat is in not bad shape. It is a big mouse house right now, so I do have to have it reupholstered, but I can keep the wood that's underneath it, and the back section's all in pretty good shape. Again, it needs to be reupholstered as well, but I think there's less work in having it reupholstered and making it fit back in here than there is in cutting all this out and putting a set of buckets in. Then in a pinch, I could always have a 3rd person, but it'd be tight. So let's get started. I'm gonna grab some paper. I'm gonna start whittling out a bit of a template, and then we'll lay down some steel and we'll start building. It's like Lego. Let's get started. Here's a look at the template that I made. I'm gonna transform this into steel. It's gonna be about 5/16 thick, even though that is a little bit thick. It's what I've got here outside, and I'm gonna use what you got type of guy. So this is the first look. I think it's gonna work out quite well. And using that thickness of steel, it actually lays in this trough quite nice and carries forward beautifully. So it's gonna really help make the floor one solid piece Then after I build this understructure piece, there is gonna be another piece of sheet metal on top of that are gonna cover all these holes, and then we'll be able to start building the doghouse up from there. Let's grab this template, cut it out of some steel. So I'm not gonna lie, you guys have missed a minute, but this is what I came up with. Sorry for not bringing you in sooner, just had a lot of work to do. So it's 5/16 plate, a little heavier than what I really would have liked, but I wanted to come around and tie this all into the floor. Now this is all one big unit, making this floor pretty skookum. Now overbuilt really, but this is what I came up with. I'm gonna put some sheet metal on top of this and it's gonna look really quite good. Then obviously I got a little bit of work to do in there and we can start building up this doghouse. So pretty excited. That was a lot of work. Everything else should go a little bit faster, but start at the bottom, work your way up. So I decided to start on the side. This piece here kind of pops out a little bit because the exhaust runs right here. So I'm giving it a little bit of room, and you can see how I designed this side over here where it's got a bit of a natural slope anyway. I knew this was gonna be sticking out further because of the exhaust. So I kind of just made things match. Over there, we're a lot straighter down because the pedals are gonna be right there, right? So I needed more room over there. Here, I needed to make room for the exhaust. So there's my second piece. Now to make the main piece. Just finished up the last piece of the doghouse. Turned out pretty good, very simple. As you can see, I was trying to keep close to the block. I needed to invert this corner and keep it ultra close just so I had enough room for the gas pedal and my other two pedals. So it looks very good, very basic. You can see here where the flat spot is, I can build like a cool drink holder, maybe a couple drink holders. Could build something up top of here, or most likely I'll build a little bit of a center console so I can put some gauges in it. But there you go. I got a spot right there to clearance for the exhaust, doghouse staying nice and tight, and inverted in the corner for all of my pedals. Looks good, very basic. Next, we gotta start the floor. Probably just do something real simple, a couple of beads in it maybe. I don't want to get too carried away. This is gonna be my work truck, it's gonna be my everyday truck. So I want to be able to just hop in it and go, so I'm not getting too crazy. Looks good though. So I've just cut out the firewall in the shape that I need to mount my doghouse, and I realized that I screwed up. I did all of my cutting from the inside. I just cleaned the perimeter all the way around, getting ready so I can put my piece in and start welding it. And I come to the outside to start doing some cleaning as well, just to make sure I wasn't welding on rust. You can see I was kind of coming all the way up and around. It's looking awesome. And I came over here and my heart just sunk. Look what I did. I cut it from the inside. I hacked the corner off of my VIN tag. It's eating me up inside. Like, the VIN tag to me is just one of those things that, you know, you put on after you finish your paint and you have it all cleaned up and it looks beautiful. And I just cut mine in half and I'm just pissed about it. Everything was going good. I was flying through it. Everything was trimmed up nice, and disaster struck. I haven't even found the piece on the ground, and I imagine that it's just down here somewhere. Oh. Yep, there it is. Now, it's hard to tell, but we might be okay. There's no numbers on that section right there. It is blank. It does suck. I've got 2 tags on this truck. And oh my God, this truck is like 85 or 86 years old. That VIN tag has sat there for all that time and I just hacked it in half. I am pissed. I've got to try to recoup, guys. This is it's devastating to me, but there you go. I've got to keep moving forward. Luckily, I guess, there's no numbers on that chunk. Maybe I can TIG weld it back on and nobody will be the wiser, but I'll know. You'll know. We'll all know. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna finish cleaning it up, but maybe we will take that off first. Well, at this point, I wish I would have known. If I would have known I was that close to the VIN tag, I should have known better. I would have made my doghouse just a little bit narrower in that spot so I didn't have to remove the tag, but I should have just removed the tag, darn it. Anyway, I'm gonna start fitting and welding, and we're gonna keep moving forward. Can't dwell on the past. Just finished tacking my firewall into place. Looks pretty good. Pretty convoluted looking, but I wanted to do it fast, so I didn't bother getting into too much like curves and radiuses. Just get it in there, get it sealed up. I got one more piece to put in over here. And yes, I am still ticked off about the VIN tag, but I guess it's gonna have a custom fit as nothing. It's a big screw up and I hate it, but I cut up a lot of stuff, and every once in a while, I guess, you know, you're bound to make a mistake. So there it is, guys. Write your comments below and tell me how much of an idiot I am for not looking before I cut.
Kustoms, yeah, they build them tall. We don't make her on a deadly run. Freak show roars like a loaded gun. Burn the rubber, feel the flames. Loves Kustoms, play no tame games. Goliath growls, flirting with disaster. Dog night screams, keep pushing faster.
So just finished up welding the doghouse in, turned out pretty good. I've got a bit of distortion, especially over in this area, but it's gonna be a two-man job. One guy on the inside with a dolly and then another guy on the outside with a hammer. So I gotta wait till my buddy's here. Other than that, it turned out pretty good. Next, we gotta hit this and then do the floor. I'm not worried about that spot right there because that's where the brake booster is gonna go. So I've still got some work to do in that area, and then I'll patch it up whatever is left as far as, you know, depending on where exactly the brake booster and master sit. But you can see here, there's my recess from this side for the exhaust because the turbo's sitting right there. And then this piece here, this inverted piece, kind of mimics this area right here so I can have as much room as possible for the pedals. Turned out pretty good, I'm happy with it. The only thing that I'm not happy with is, well, you guys all know. I'm now completely ready to flip the skin onto our floor structure. Everything is primed. Very simple little floor skin. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, so I left it pretty simple. Fits nice. I'm just gonna stand on it, start plug welding all of this down, and I'm debating if I'm gonna weld around the perimeter just to seal out the water. I feel like I might. That structure is so strong. I'm not too worried about warpage at this point. I've got my understructure that I built to mount the cab to the frame. It's bolted on underneath there. And, you know, well, this thing is, I overbuilt it. So there's a good look of kind of what it's gonna look like in the end. I'm really starting to see a vision for what I'm gonna do in here, whether it's gonna be like kind of a drop down center console with some gauges, maybe some cup holders. Something cool is gonna happen there. I'm just not quite sure yet. I'm gonna build a really cool shifter like I was saying. So this area here, I really want it to be looking pretty unique and cool. So let's just start welding and be one step closer to getting this thing back on the road. Get me behind the wheel. Now that the welding's all done, we officially have a floor. It turned out pretty darn good. I did decide to go around the perimeter. I wanted it to be watertight. I didn't want any drafts. So I'm trying to seal it up the best that I can. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I even like the little plug welds, but I'll probably go around and grind those off. But I'm gonna end this video here. I still have one more piece to put in right there, but I feel like in the future, I might have to run a ratchet strap from this corner here down to that opening, because the door gaps just aren't quite right. And if I come around here and I heat this area up here with a torch, or I just zip cut it, then I can pull the A-pillar forward a little bit, and that will lift the door, and that'll help with my gap. So I'm leaving that option open. So that'll be another day. I do have the piece made, fits right there. But there you guys go. Like always, be safe out there. Peace. Make sure you like and subscribe and share my videos, and stay tuned for the next one.
Kustoms, yeah, they build them tall. We don't make her on a deadly run. Freak show roars like a loaded gun.